Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Harley Nouveau, if you didn't know, which you probably don't because as of right now I average like 20 views per video. I'm gonna be the next YouTube sensation. I don't even know where the camera's at. There it is. Okay. I'm currently visiting my best friend Jasmine, who, if you've seen any of my previous clips, you know who she is because she's featured in like every video in some way, whether it be name drop top, just kidding, name drop, face picture, that's not even a word. Okay, let me try that again. Whether it be through name drop, photo appearing like right here in the clip, or, you know, shout out, anything. I'm currently in her house, in her beauty room, which I think my first video I ever did was in here. And this is going to be a bit of a different kind of video for me because I'm going to try to do I guess you could call it first impressions slash makeup. It's not tutorial, but get ready with me first impressions and get ready with me video. That's what I'm going to call this. So I picked up a couple different things this weekend at the Morphe store, and then I have my BoxyCharm subscription that finally came in on the last week of the month. And then there is a eyeshadow palette that Jasmine has graciously offered to let me use for this, which I really wanted to try out. So there's a couple of different things that I'm going to be doing for the first time. Now, I don't know how much of this whole process I'm actually going to include because, as I said, it's more of like a get ready with me. I don't think there's anything particular like I plan on talking about. I'm not really going to walk you through how I do things because it isn't a tutorial. I might like jump forward through some pieces. But yeah, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this. I'm going to show you all the new stuff I'm going to be using. I'm going to actually use it and talk with you while I get ready. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you about my thoughts on the products. I don't know if that's typically how people formulate these things or format these things. It's just how I'm going to do it. Who knows if it'll continue to be that way in the future. I don't know. We're learning together, you and I. All one of you and I that's watching this. So the first thing I typically do is take the cap off, and it was already off. So the first thing I normally do is my brows. The reason I do that is because I don't want to do my eye makeup first and get like some bomb eye and then try to do my brows and mess up horribly and just ruin the eye makeup that I did. But before I begin anything, I'm actually going to go ahead and go through my BoxyCharm now. Sorry, this is going to be awkward because this is my first time doing this, but here is my lovely BoxyCharm for the month of February. I actually cheated this time. I opened it like right before I did this. I haven't gone through it. I literally just did the tape because the last time I tried to film one of these, it took me a good like 10 minutes to get the tape off because I'm awful. So I did that. So in the month of February BoxyCharm, we have this beautiful little afterglow sheet that tells me what's in here and the actual items that are in here. We have Tristique, and this is a prime and color lip glaze, of which I have never used in my life anything similar to this. It is a 2-in-1 lip duo that has a soothing primer on one side and a shiny color glaze on the other. This retails for a whopping $25, so I guess I'm going to be using that for my lips later in this video. So, ooh, it's magnetic. That's fancy. By the time I post this, it's going to be too late for you to get it, but you can at least hear about these items. We have the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, which is really heavy. So I guess that's good. Makes it feel expensive. This is a mascara that lives up to its name. This also retails for $24. So if you're somebody that likes to think that you bought on a budget, but you can't because you're on a budget, I recommend getting a BoxyCharm because you get to try out all these fancy products that you probably never would otherwise, because I don't make enough to just nilly-willy decide to drop $24 on a mascara to test it out. I'm going to be like over in CoverGirl, over in Maybelline, getting like $4 mascaras that probably aren't that great, but that's all I can afford. So it's something that, you know, will really help familiarize you with different, more luxurious brands that you've always wondered about on the side of Ulta that's not for the homeless people, but you never wandered over there because you don't want to get escorted out by security. We also have this No Problem, I don't know how to do this, No Problem Primer. This light, silky texture blurs pores and wrinkles, giving you a soft velvet feel. This retails for $18. So I know that Jasmine told me that she tried this out, and she's probably going to actually buy this when she runs out. That's how much that she liked it. So hopefully I feel the same. Will I? I don't know. I can't tell you how I feel about primers because while I've been into makeup for quite a long time experimenting, doing full face isn't something that I've really done for a long time. So primers aren't something I'm really familiar with. I have like minimal experience with Maybelline and NYX primers, and then one that I got from my Boxy Luxe back in December. The next thing we have is this Pharmacy facial cleanser called Clean Bee. This retails for $22, and it soothes and hydrates your skin while lifting dirt, excess oil, impurities, grime, and makeup. I'll have to try that out because, as I'm sure you can tell from looking at me in this monitor, my skin is a hot mess. So yeah, I'll look forward to that afterward. The next and final thing, because you typically only get 5 products in a Boxy Charm month, is this Pretty Vulgar Shimmering Swan highlight, which there's it in the actual pan. I would say this looks like a champagne color to me if I had to describe it in person. Is it blinding? We don't know. We'll find out. I'm probably doing terrible. I'll get better eventually. I mean, it's not like Nikki Tutorials level of first video bad, but I'm sure it's pretty awkward. So yeah, back to what I was talking about. The next thing that I picked up that I'm going to try out is these Morphe lashes in Malibu. Jasmine and my friend Lauren always talk about the Morphe lashes. They use Santa Monica and Hollywood Hills though. I just picked up Malibu because it sounded like something I wanted to try. The next thing I'm going to be featuring and I will be using throughout this whole process, and that I'm really excited about, is the Morphe and Jeffree Star collaboration for his brush set, which I'm honestly shocked that they had in stock because it sold out really quickly, and they had quite a bit in stock. Like, they must have just restocked or something, but yeah, I picked that up. I'm super stoked about that because they're gorgeous, and Jeffree is like, ah. So in this gorgeous bag that my friend Lauren was really jealous and wants, you get 7 brushes. You get the JS1 Size Queen brush, which looks like this. I freaking love this thing, and it feels really soft and smooth. JS2 is called the Point Blank Precision brush. I don't know if that's going to be for anything powder. I don't know. I don't know what these are for. I don't know what I'm doing. I just am here. Don't take my word on it. I'm not a beauty guru. I'm not a beauty teacher. The next one is JS3, which is the iconic contour brush. So answered that question right there, didn't I? After that one, you have the JS4, which is the Fly High brush. JS4 Fly High brush. This is obviously for highlight, since, you know, that would make sense with these names. What are these names, though, for real? After that, you get JS5. JS5, this one is the Crease Queen blush. I'm drunk. This is a hot mess. This is a hot mess. I'm a hot mess. Why are you here? Go watch Chati's video. After that is JS6. This is the Roll Blender brush. What am I doing? Roll Blender brush. I don't even know how to include all these. And then JS7 is the Double Treble brush. Obviously that one's for brows, so we'll get to see that one in a moment. We'll see all of these in a moment. Oh my god, why am I so bad at this? So the first thing that I typically do, in my routine, what am I talking about? Why am I so bad? Justin, help me. Let me put this on. That smells pretty good. Huh. Okay, in touch and soul, whatever. That smells good. That feels good too. Wow. Okay, see what Jasmine's raving about. Okay, so while that's sitting in, first thing I typically do in my routine is I do my brows. The reason I do that is because I want to have a good foundation to start my eye makeup on, because I do my eye makeup typically before I do my face. I also want to make sure that if I really love the way my eyes turn out, I'm not going to ruin that by trying to do my brows afterwards, because typically it is a struggle to get my brows to look cute. So recently what I've been doing is I got introduced to ColourPop, and I've been using, I don't know if you can see it, it's called ColourPop Brow Boss Brow Pencil. I've been using that to draw out the shape of my brows, and then I've been filling in the shape that I draw with a different product. So let me just do that real quick. So one thing you'll learn if you follow me on Instagram is, for some reason, I have a really hard time ever getting my eyebrows to be the same from day to day. Even using the same products, they look like different products every time. It's the same stuff. I don't know what the problem is there. Oh, also, another thing real quick while I'm doing this. I don't know how good the quality on my camera is, so I will try to zoom in to show you. But right here, if you're on my Instagram also, I have a scar. I have a brow piercing. So there's like this indentation right here that kind of causes this weird texture on my brow. So if you ever look at close-ups of my eye makeup and you're wondering like what that weird little like indentation and dot is, that's where my piercing used to be. So I can't do anything to fix that at the moment. I'm not rich. I can't go like get filler injected or anything like that. I would put a piercing back in, but I really don't want to. Ooh, another thing I struggle with really bad. Another thing I struggle with for sure is getting my eyebrows to be even. I can proudly say, in my opinion, for sure, my brows are not like James Charles when he first started doing makeup levels of bad. Because, I mean, girl. But they're not great. They say that your brows should be siblings, not twins. Just remember that before you judge me. So I think I like that general outline for the most part, so now I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. So what I used to fill in my brow, and the reason I started doing this is because I'm basic and everybody on Instagram uses this product. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. Specifically, I use the color taupe. Also, fun fact, dumb fact, I should say. When you go to Sephora or you go to a makeup store and you're going to buy something, I recommend opening it to make sure that it hasn't been used before, because this thing was like 25 bucks. And I got it and got home to use it, and it had already been used. And it was the only color left in taupe. It was the only one left in the color I needed. So I use it anyway, probably not sanitary, but I'm not a professional, so I don't care. Just, I know that there are other people that are really OCD about that kind of thing. Point proven. I just told you I'm terrible at my eyebrows. There you go. This one, wonky. That's why I do them first, because you obviously, if you know anything about makeup, know that you can go in with concealer to clean that up. So that's what I'm going to do next. I've been using, thanks to Raw Beauty Christie, who is amazing, the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I have two different colors that I use at the moment. I use ColourPop in Fair 08, which is my actual concealer color. And then I got a white one in Fair 00, which is for like cutting my crease or doing whatever I want to do with that. So I'm going to take the 08 to clean up my brows real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so there are my brows. There are my brows. Like I said, they're not perfect. Are they passable? Are they okay? Are they acceptable to me because I have low standards in life and in makeup? Yeah. So after I do my eyebrows, I will typically do my eye makeup. The reason I do that is because I am sloppy. I'm a total slopobotomist, as I've said before, and if I do my foundation before, I will typically mess it up getting fallout on my face, and then, you know, that just looks terrible. So I try to do it prior to foundation just to make sure that I can correct any mistakes that I make. For my eyes today, I am going to be using a palette that I never normally would touch because I don't really like her or her brand based on principle. However, I do like the colors on this palette, and since I did not buy the palette, I don't feel bad about using it, and that is the Huda Beauty Nude palette, which you've been seeing me use as a mirror because I don't have a compact mirror. Jasmine got this a while back. I really love the way some of the colors work out, and I just wanted to try my hand at it because, like I said, I am not well off financially, so I don't get to dabble in like more luxurious products that often. When I go to do my eye makeup, the first thing I will do, and I got this from Raw Beauty Christie also, is I will use the ColourPop No Filter Concealer as my base. I like the way that it works. I feel like it works really well for me. Some people use MAC Paint Pot and Painterly. Some people, Jasmine, use NARS. I don't. I use this. Prior to this, I used Shape Tape. I actually like this more than Shape Tape, but this isn't a review on everything I do. This is just a random blah 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 video. So let me do that real quick. So now that I look like I had a terrible sunburn while I had sunglasses on at the beach, which I'll never do because me and the outdoors just don't mix. A lot of people will not set their base for their eyeshadow because they want to get maximum pigment payoff. I do set mine. The reason that I do that is because I have hooded eyes. Pretty hooded eyes. You might not be able to tell, but they're pretty hooded. And if I don't, in the process of doing my eyeshadow, whenever I blink or do anything like that, it just causes the base to crease and look gross. And yeah, nobody likes that. So I'm going to set that real quick, and then I will get started on my eyeshadow. And I'll talk about random things while I do that, because I don't know what else to talk about, and I don't want this to be like one of those random time-lapse videos. You know, this is my first time using an Anastasia, what the hell? So, as I was saying, this is my first time using a Huda Beauty palette. A hoodie. Anyway, as I was saying, as I mentioned earlier, I have never used a Huda Beauty product before. The reason that I do not really support Huda Beauty as a brand is a couple, and I don't want to sound like one of those like I'm super woke kind of people because I'm not Thomas Halbert, but I don't really like them as a company just because, you know, you had the fiasco with Beauty Bakery where obviously baking powder is something that is not really revolutionary. There are various companies that have baking powder for baking your face, but Beauty Bakery, which is a self-made company, like indie brand by a cancer survivor, woman of color, is really one of the first to model their entire image after baked goods and, you know, like home ec, kind of housewife kind of thing. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You get what I mean. Like, their whole modus operandi was to be inspired by baked goods, and that extended to their products. So, you know, they had like cake batter, all of that, cookies, stuff like that as the names of their products. So they had a baking powder that's specifically for baking, and you can research this, but they did like this big themed shoot where it was like types of flour and types of cake mix, and she did this cute like 50s inspired photo shoot for the launch promo thing, and it was really cute. Well, Huda Beauty, who is known for, because she is Middle Eastern, her products are really inspired by her heritage because she's from the Middle East and she's proud of that. So you had things that are like desert and, you know, sand, things like that as the naming conventions and themes of her products, at least up until a specific point. So, you know, had like the Desert Dusk palette, the Rose Gold palette, things like that. It was all about, you know, I don't want to say Arabic because I don't think that's the right word. You get what I'm trying to say, though. Like, they had two very different models for their company. And after Beauty Bakery came out with their baking powder, Huda Beauty came out with a baking powder as well. And it was a bit of a gag because the entire thing was lo and behold, baking themed. And I don't just mean the names, I mean like she pretty much verbatim copied that lady's photo shoot and everything. Like, you put them side by side, it is very obvious that she's copied her. And I don't like the idea of a bigger corporation coming after a indie brand that's trying to come up by itself from the ground up and blatantly ripping off their ideas to make a profit, because Beauty Bakery is not going to have the type of support or manpower to really fight that kind of thing. So business-wise, I have a problem with that. Culturally, Huda is from an area that is homophobic because she is from the Middle East, I think specifically Saudi Arabia, and Islam is the religion of choice there. And homosexuality is not something that really blends well with that. So you don't get a lot of verbal or outspoken support for the gay community from her. You'll get, I'm going to say pandering on their Instagram feed towards certain communities, but it's clear that it's just kind of like filling a niche so that people don't really ask them any questions. Now, my job here is not to like convince you not to buy her stuff. You can think for yourself. You don't even have to look into this if you don't want to. I'm not trying to change anyone's opinion. I'm just telling you where I kind of stand on that whole thing. So if you want to keep using her products, you do you. Personally, I will probably never buy any of her stuff, even though I really wanted to, because her, I think Faux Filter foundation, when that came out, I was super stoked because it looked really cool. But then as I learned more about her and her business practices, I just decided that's probably something I want to avoid associating with myself. This video is obviously not supposed to be like my opinion on, I do my makeup really slow, by the way, my opinion on companies and their practices and the people that work there, but Kat Von D, similar story. Okay, so I want to take a moment here to say that this brush right here, which is the Crease Queen blush, I can't speak. It does to me feel, in my opinion, unfortunately, a tad bit scratchy. So I will say that is a bit of a disappointment. I mean, it still seems to be working fine, but sad to say that. Okay, so I don't know if I've said this before, but I just want to preface it and say that I'm not a professional. Okay, so far, it's just that one JS5 brush that I would say is probably like, just feels a bit scratchy. Now, it is worth noting that I am somebody that's like really heavy-handed. Like, when I was in school for painting, they told me I needed to lighten up on how I applied the paint, because I like pressed down into it. So it could just be that I'm just jamming this into my eye and like hurting myself. So it could not be scratchy. It could just be me sucking at what I'm doing. So if you have these brushes and you don't think that they're scratchy, that could totally be the case. Now, I do also know that Morphe is sometimes inconsistent with their brushes. You can get like 3 of the same exact brush at the store at the same exact time in person, and they can all end up being a different quality. But that's just my observations on that. I'm gonna have like 2 hours worth of fucking footage. Probably should have watched more videos about this before doing it. Okay, so far, I really like the foundation brush, but I don't know how well it applied it. I just like how it feels. Super soft. That's not one you touch. I thought about talking about R. Kelly. Ugh, I should have did a lip scrub before I did this. Okay, so I don't know, like, what has been happening to my... I'm talking to my camera also, by the way, right now. I don't know what has been talking... Or what... This is me throughout all my recording process. I don't know how much you heard in there. So, I don't know what's been happening, you out there in YouTube land, with my skin lately, but it's, like, very dry. And I don't know if it's the weather or what. Typically, I have combination skin, but my T-zone is usually pretty oily. But lately, it's, like... the exact opposite, so who knows. Also, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this eye look right now. I think that this JS2 like point blank precision brush, which is super fluffy, is supposed to be a powder brush. Contour, that's what I was gonna do. Never done that with a tiny brush like this, so we'll figure out how that's like. Tell me this is like what I've been needing my whole life and I didn't realize it. To the point that I'm like heavy-handing it because I'm not used to how good it is. Girl. This highlight though. Woo! Now I just gotta do my lips, lashes, and I'm done. And I can do my final thoughts. No. Ooh, I like this mascara. Although it seems like it might be hard to do my bottom lashes with this. This might actually be like too good. I put it on my bottom lashes and I'm like, fuck, that's like too much. Pay me what you owe me. Don't act like you forgot, God. I've never went to no beach because that's where Jaws lives. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Ah! 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 What do you think about this lip color with this look? Alright, so that is the finished look. Do I know how I feel about it? No, I don't. Do I like it? I don't know. So step by step, going through all of the stuff that I used that I had not touched before, I will start with the brushes. So the Jeffree Star brushes, are they Jeffree Star approved? Yeah, they are. That's stupid, I don't want to say that. Okay, so when it comes to these items that I have tried, are they happily ever after or are they happily never after? So for the Jeffree Star brushes, when it comes to how they look, duh, they're beautiful, they're gorgeous, they look like a model. Did they stone those tights? I would say these are definitely a happily ever after. For the quality of the brushes, I would say the same thing with the exception of the JS5, only because it was a little bit scratchy to me. That could be, like I said, because I'm heavy-handed. It could be that it's scratchy and the quality's bad because it's made in China and it's never consistent. I don't know. How do I know it's made in China? I just looked down and saw that label in the bag. So, there's that, the more you learn. For the eyeshadow palette, as I said earlier, my thoughts on Huda Beauty and the company overall will probably prevent me from ever buying anything of theirs, but the shadows were good, so if you're not someone that cares about that kind of thing, I would say that's definitely a happily ever after as well. For the mascara, the Better Than Sex mascara, I mean, I haven't had sex in a while, like years, but I would say it definitely is better than sex from what I remember. I mean, that thing is fully loaded. On my bottom lashes, it was a chore to not make it look like I had false lashes on. And, I mean, if you like that kind of thing, then good. But for me, I don't want it to look like Bianca Del Rio just took a shit on the bottom of my face. So, I would say these are definitely a happily ever after as well. Pick it up. If you want to spend $24 on mascara, go for it. It's the only Too Faced product I own, and it'll probably be that way for a while because this isn't 2007. For the lip product, I've never heard of Trestique. I do like the component because it's magnetic. The little lip balm at the bottom, I would say, is okay. I mean, if you're buying it specifically for that, what are you doing? There's chapstick you can get. The color is pretty cute. I'm wearing it right now. If you can tell, it kind of goes with the eye look. But I don't remember how much this cost. I want to say it was $18. There's definitely better lip products you can get, but it wasn't specifically disappointing, so I will go ahead and give that a happily ever after as well. I'm super optimistic. All of these are like good for me so far. I need to find something that's terrible. For the highlighter, the Pretty Vulgar Shimmering Swan. I mean, you can see it right now on my face. I don't know how you feel about it, but I like it for the most part. It's a champagne color, like I said earlier, but I can see myself using this more. So I'll give that a happily ever after as well. This is just the best fairy tale I've ever seen, because there's no downside so far. For the primer, this No Problem primer, that was bomb. Like, it was bomb. I know that this is kind of pricey, but like Jasmine told me, and like I told you, Jasmine told me, I can see myself buying this when I run out as well. So, of the boxy so far, I think that's actually all of the boxy. Let me think. I've just lost my mind. Was that everything in there? Mascara, lip product, highlight, primer. I know I'm missing something. Am I drunk? Where's the sheet? Help me! Oh, facial cleanser. I can't try that yet. So, of the box, not including this facial cleanser that I haven't tried, I would say the primer is actually like my favorite thing. I don't know how Jasmine feels, but that's how I feel. So, overall, everything I've tried today, I would say, is definitely a happily ever after. I don't know if you feel that way about the way it turned out on my face, but I doubt you came here to see beauty tips from me, or that you even care. But thank you for sitting through this so far. I had, I would say, fun. I don't want to lie to you, though. It was really strange. I'll probably be something I have to adjust and grow with as my channel grows and I get more into the habit of doing this kind of thing. But yeah, overall, I had fun today. I like the way it looks. If you want to continue seeing content from me, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, until our stars next align, I am Harley Nouveau.